back to the question, are we prepared for the 2022 elections? Sometimes back, a couple of weeks ago, I said we may need to relook at the 2022 elections. I said Kenyans might need to have a conversation. I kind of put it bluntly that it may not be possible for us to hold that election. I received a lot of bashing. The reactions came in fast and furious, as the cliche goes. Today, I ask the same question. Are we ready for the 2022 elections? Please, separate your support for politicians and the issues I'm raising. Separate what I might want from what I'm seeing. There are many signals and many little red flags that I'm inviting Kenyans once again to look at. Begin with BBI. This BBI may lead to a situation that is complicated when it comes to 2022 elections. First of all, if BBI referendum is held, and I have no reason to believe it will not be held. I heard the Deputy President the other day giving reasons why the BBI is not good and why actually he was agreeing with the High Court. Those reasons they are not reasons. If the appeal court, and we don't want to go into these things because they are already before court, if the appeal court sticks with the law, they will dismiss the High Court ruling. If it goes to the Supreme Court, the same will happen. So, if the elections are going to be held, not elections, the referendum, don't you think this will affect the timelines? Already IBC is talking about issues with the delimitation of boundaries. So if BBI goes through, it will work in such a way that the referendum will be too close to the election. But worse still, supposing through the referendum, we realize there are gaps within IBC that will mean if IBC cannot successfully run that referendum, how much less are they able to run the 2022 election that will be just a couple of months away? Still on BBI, don't you see BBI as a smokescreen, perhaps, to throw confusion into the works so that at the end of the day, whether BBI referendum is held or not, whether it is held and goes through or not, it will nevertheless have served its purpose to cause confusion. And in this confusion, if you insist on an election, then you'll be having just an election. And that may be just what some people may want, to push you into demanding just for any election. You get what I mean without saying it. So I'm inviting Kenyans to look at IBC. Ask yourself, is IBC ready? They say they are not even ready for boundaries. Then you ask yourself, there are certain constituencies that were protected, 20-something of them, and they are not to be constituencies in the 2022 election. So what is going to happen if IBC is not ready? How will they illegally participate in the 2022 election? How is the IBC going to rearrange that if they are saying they don't have the time? Of course, I know that's rubbish. Rearranging boundaries of constituencies in the modern age with the technology is something that can be done in a week. But they want to waste huge resources moving around the country, then coming back in Nairobi to do that which they would have done anyway in a week. We know this is our country. But that is the situation. So BBI, irrespective of the outcome, will have a serious bearing on the 2022 elections. Something else. It's no secret that the UDA people, the Tanga people, intend to walk out of government. They intend to abandon their party. They may even intend to resign from parliament at some point, calculating that they will be sending a signal of their strength to Uhuru and Raila. And remnants of Jubilee. My friend, that may be exactly what I'm talking about. Supposing, like you say, you people of Tangatanga, you want to walk out of government, you want to walk out of parliament in 2022, February. Supposing you that PAP and the government, through its moves, then calls for there to be many by-elections, more than the little by-elections of 1966. You thought it was too close to the elections, and therefore by-elections were not going to be held. But then they are held. And deliberate. I'm thinking aloud. I don't talk for anybody. I think aloud. I'm just thinking aloud and looking at situations. Supposing then elections are called. 100 of you have left parliament, and there are elections in 100 constituencies. Just think about it. 100 constituencies, there are by-elections. Then they are bungled. They are bungled so badly that nobody in their right senses can talk about another election, a bigger election, just perhaps 2-3 months ahead in August. So I'm preparing Kenyans to look at all these things. Ask yourself questions. Do serious thinking. Ask yourself, why did Raila boycott their politics of handshake? We now get to understand perhaps. But what was the thinking? What were the reasons given for not participating in the repeat election? There were certain conditions given, enumerated 1, 2, 3, up to around something. And Raila and his team said, if you have not done 1, 2, 3, there will be no point in entering the repeat election. The question I'm asking people in this country, what has been done about those problems? We talked about the servers. To date, have the servers been opened? Do we know the issues around the servers? To date, the equipment, the technology that is going to be used in the 2022 election, the biometrics and all those things, who knows what is the state of the ones we have now? What is the state of what we need? Do you know what we need in terms of equipment for 2022 elections? Where is IEBC in the process of procurement? Where is it? The High Court said they cannot make policy decisions. What bigger policy decisions than decisions on the 2022 general elections? If they cannot make policy decisions, if we don't know what they are doing, they produce a roadmap that is vague and fake. The question I'm asking Kenyans, do you think in that state, IBC, even the voter register, when there was a parliamentary select committee to handle the mess in our elections, one of the things they said they were going to audit the register. I had presented my views to that committee of Orengo and Kraitu. People like Khalwale were there. And on TV I asked Khalwale, what you are coming up is not going to work, auditing a register. So I would ask Khalwale today, did they audit the register? They didn't. I had suggested to them, you need a clean register, a new register. If 2022 is going to be credible, including those who are pushing for these elections, those who are pushing so hard, remember those who are pushing are those who are in a hurry to take over power from Uhuru. They are pushing as if the goalkeeper has left the goalpost. And therefore, all you need is just cut and the goal is in. And this is deliberate, my friend, you are falling into a trap, including those who are pushing. Do you know the state of the voter register in this country? Do you know the state of the voter register? What plans are there to create a new voter register? Already IEBC says even the current allocation in the 2021-2022 budget of 14.5 billion cannot even do that work. It can't handle anything. It can't procure anything. It can't do mass voter registration requires, we are the most stupid people when it comes to registering voters. We register a vote at around 500 shillings per vote. The last time we did mass voter registration. So it means they need billions of shillings. They are not in the budget. They are not being given. And yet you people are pushing for elections. I want to tell you, please, it's better to engage you on the issue of how prepared we are. With everything on the table, nothing off limit, including postponing an election. Instead of saying, we want an election, whatever election, you'll be falling into a trap. Better you discuss the election of 2022 and even put the issue of postponing that election on the table for discussion than say we must have an election even if heavens fall. Heavens need not fall. A number of things will fall on you, and you'll wish you listened to me. Kenyans don't seem to be prepared for the 2022 elections. What they are pushing for is an election because they believe the victory is theirs. While that is questionable, from where I stand, it is driving them into wanting that election to be held yesterday because they are going to win. My friend, when 2022 comes, you realize when it is too late, you should have engaged the IBC. You should have held a national discussion and conversation on whether or not the IBC was doing enough to guarantee a free and fair election.